What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new documentary series, Crime Scene: The Texas Killing Fields. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. Let's rock this. Ah yes, this is another new installment in the Crime Scene series franchise, produced by the great Joe Berlinger. The first one was The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. The second one was the Times Square Killer, both of which I previously reviewed. And now we go to the deep heart of Texas, where for the longest time bodies of dead women kept dropping like flies, suggesting that a serial killer or multiple serial killers had been using that particular stretch of areas as their dumping ground. So that region has confounded investigators and has fascinated crime-solving aficionados for decades. This docu-series thoroughly unpacks the tragedies, the possible theories, and the valiant persistence of a grieving father who makes this his personal and undying mission. Crime Scene: The Texas Killing Fields is chilling, it's eerie, the nitty-gritty details can get pretty grotesque and unsettling. At the same time, the revelation about the law enforcement's incompetence and negligence is infuriating and disheartening. Oscar-nominated and Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Joe Berlinger returns to executive produce Season 3 of Crime Scene, the acclaimed documentary series exploring the ways in which certain locations aid and abet criminal activity. The new season, directed by Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Jessica Dimmock, investigates the Texas Killing Fields, a region with a dark pattern of girls who have disappeared and turned up dead. Amidst the marshes and oil refineries alongside the interstate corridor connecting Houston and the beach town of Galveston lies Calder Road, the patch of land that earned its name after the bodies of 3 young women were discovered there in the 1980s and a 4th in the 1991. Their murders remain unsolved, but one grieving father refuses to give up on the hunt for his daughter's killer, while the search and recovery organization he founded supports other local families facing similar tragedies. His determined pursuit of justice for the victims drives the series as it delves into 5 decades of the area's history and missed opportunities surrounding the Calder Road cold cases that may at long last lead investigators to the truth. So there are a total of 3 episodes. The first one goes right into the Calder Road killings. One of the victims was Laura Miller, and we get introduced to Laura's father, Tim Miller, who becomes this ever-presence throughout this entire show. Episode 2 is when 12-year-old Laura Smither goes missing and ends up dead. The search for Laura is a massive collective effort, but that whole situation is also very telling. You see, at the time, even to this day, there's this fucked up victim-blaming assumptions. Oh, maybe she's a junkie, maybe she's a prostitute, how dare she goes out alone without a man. But all of a sudden, a 12-year-old got killed, and they can't use that victim-blaming excuses on her. Episode 3 is appropriately titled The Reckoning because it dives into some of the possible suspects. But what's heartbreaking is that it doesn't solve all the cases. There's just too many bodies and too many unanswered questions, and they're not able to connect these perps to all of them, unfortunately. This docuseries is comprehensive, it covers a lot of grounds, it even covers some of their misguided notions about who the killer might be. And I appreciate that the reenactments are not overwhelming. The director just pretty much lets Tim Miller and the other victims' families share their stories despite the pain of going down that unpleasant memory lane. Look, these crimes happened in a time when there was no internet, no surveillance cameras, no DNA testing. And on top of that, the cops are goddamn lazy. I'm telling you, you will easily side with Tim Miller's frustration over the cops' refusal to do their job. So the families are not just battling to find the killer, they're also battling the police, trying to get them to give a damn. Your heart just falls to the floor for Tim and other parents like him. The failures of the investigators are probably the biggest takeaway from this docu-series. On top of keeping the cases alive and to bring awareness to them, trust me, Crime Scene: The Texas Killing Fields is so haunting, it'll stay in your head for days on end.